post-fertilization event. So what are the post-fertilization events? So now the fusion has happened. So first step is the gametogenesis, right? That is formation of gametes. Then gametes are transferred, and after the gametes are transferred, there occurs a fusion of the gametes, male and female gametes. And after the fusion, so what is the next stage? It results in the formation of zygote, right? So post-fertilization event, the first stage is the formation of zygote. So the development of zygote, it depends on the type of cell cycle, that is life cycle of the organism. So about the life cycle of the organism, and also it depends on the nature of the environment. So the development of the zygote, it depends on the type of the life cycle of the organism, and also it differs in the different environment. For example, in the case of fungi and algae, the zygote, so how the zygote will be in fungi and algae, that forms a thick wall. So the zygote will be surrounded by a thick wall, and that is resistant to desiccation and damage. So this thick wall, it prevents the damage, and it undergoes a period of rest before germination. So before germination, what happens? Here there will be a period of rest, so that will be in a dormant stage. So how it exists in the dormant stage? Due to the presence of this thick wall, right? So it prevents the damage. And in organisms with haplontic life cycle, so we already discussed about the haplontic life cycle, and also about the diplontic life cycle and haplodiplontic life cycle, right? So here, if you take the haplontic life cycle, where the major phases will be in the haploid form, right? So here zygote is the only diploid stage. So this zygote, it divides by meiosis into haploid spores, and that grow into haploid individuals, right? Zygote is the only diploid stage in the haplontic life cycle. So here what happens? It divides by meiosis to form haploid spores. Okay, clear? All these things already we discussed, right? Sexually reproducing organisms, they begin life as a zygote. So the first step is the formation of zygote. Fertilization, it leads to the formation of zygote. So where the sexually reproducing organisms, always they form a zygote, because there occurs a fusion of male and female gametes. Okay, so zygote is the vital link between organisms of one generation and the next. So there occurs a reproduction or the continuity of the species, right? So that zygote is the link, because the male gamete, it fuses with the female gamete, which leads to the formation of zygote. So this is the first step, right? So it is a link between the organism of one generation and the next. So the zygote now develops into one embryo. So it leads to the formation of a new individual, right? So there occurs a fusion of male gamete and female gamete. So the first step is the zygote after fertilization. So after the zygote is formed, the next stage is the development of embryo, that is embryogenesis. Okay, so it is the development of embryo from zygote. So the zygote develops into an embryo. So during embryogenesis, what is happening? First, the zygote undergo cell division, that is mitotic division. So what will happen as a result of mitosis? There occurs an increase in the number of cells, right? So first the zygote undergoes cell division, and then it undergoes cell differentiation. So what is the role of cell division? It increases the number of cells. So the number of cells is increased as a result of mitotic division. And then cell differentiation. So what do you mean by cell differentiation? It causes the modification of the groups of cells. That is, initially it will be present as a single cell, and then there occurs the presence of many cells, and these cells actually they form various tissues, and then they form an organs, and which form an organism. Okay, so this is the development of embryo. So from the zygote there occurs the formation of embryo. So based on the place of zygote formation, so where the zygote is developing, based on that, there are two types of animals. One is called the oviparous animal and another one is the viviparous. So based on the place of zygote development, that is where the zygote is developing, oviparous and viviparous.